on my phone because
She's great.
She's one of my favorite singers. She's amazing. And I love stuff like that, you know? And because, again, it's emotional. You can hear the realness in it, you know? And then on our last tour with Kaishira, when we did, we toured Europe with a band from America called Snot. I don't know if you know those guys.
I do. They are great. They've been around since the 90s.
Yeah. Well, this was their 20th anniversary kind of comeback anniversary tour for their original album. And so we were on tour with those guys. So that was a heavy tour. And we were driving all around Europe every day. And when the vehicle that we hired didn't have a CD player in it. So we brought all these CDs of like heavy stuff for the road, you know, keep us pumped. And we couldn't play any of them. And the only person that had any music on their phone was me. And all I had was 2 Sia albums. So for the entire month, we just had Chandelier like on loop for the entire tour.
Were they mad? Were they mad at you?
Fucking shit.
That's great. I mean, I was just thinking, like, how was, like, you know, you talk a lot about touring and stuff like that in your book, Noise Damage. And I think it is, and it is great. Do you still consider yourself a rock and roll underdog?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I'm still independent. I do my own records. I put them out on my own label. I don't have anyone telling me what to do. So I do think I'm still an underdog, yeah. I'm comfortable being an underdog. I wouldn't want to be, you know, driven around, chauffeured around, you know, from posh hotel to posh hotel. You know, I wouldn't want
Even if you were, like, earning the megabucks, though?
I don't think I would do it. Now, if I was earning, like, tons of money, I think I would... I like to think I would do something sensible with it. I've been broke for so long. I think that if I ever got...
Just used to it, man.
If I ever got, like, decent money, I wouldn't blow it on cocaine and hookers. I would kind of spend it on, you know, something sensible, like invest in property or something boring like that, you know? Because I'd be so worried that the money was going to go again, because I'm so used to being skint that, I think I would, like... There's no way I would blow it.
Have you ever, like, come, you know, what was your biggest purchase so far? Like, the thing that you come to, you know, a bit of money, and it's like, oh, I'm going to treat myself to, what was that?
Do you know what? I don't even know. I'm shit, man. I don't spend money on myself. Like, I spend money on like instruments and equipment and travel and food, but I don't spend money on myself. I don't buy purchases. I'm useless like that, man. I'm pretty boring. Like, I spend loads of money on musical equipment and like the production of albums and things, you know what I mean? But yeah, like so in that regard, the most expensive thing I've ever purchased would be like producing my last couple of albums.
Yeah.
The amount of money that cost was like fucking disgusting.
But that's work, though.
Yeah, but that's what my mind is like. So I consider that spending money on myself.
Yeah, I get that. I get that because actually me and my husband had this conversation about like, oh, if we won the lottery, what would we do straight away? And it's like, well, we always thought, well, you know, we would buy the house we're in at the moment and do, you know, renovations and stuff like that, help our friends and family. And then the rest, you know, either create a charity, or help charities out there that are already established.
Nice,
you know? And that's exactly what we would do. But then there's a difference, you know, you might, like, one day, I want some money, you know, and it wasn't like thousands, man, like, you know, like 600 quid or whatever. And then that was just in my account, and I'm just like, what am I going to do with all this money? Like, you know, exactly, to me, it was like winning the lottery. Like, I'd just be like, yes, you know. But it's like, I was scared. To me, that was like, you know, a shitload of money, and it's not, you know, that's like not even rent money. But I was just like, what am I going to do with this? And I sort of like gave half of it to like charity.
Right.
And the other half paid some bills I needed paying, and
yeah, that's what happens, man.
That was like, it. But some people would just be like, oh, I'm off out and, you know, spending on booze and whatever.
Some people, I got friends of mine who've made serious bucks. Like they've produced records that have been like classic #1 albums. They've made loads of money. They've got music on adverts and got thousands, like 60 grand for it and stuff like that. And it's gone. And they've got no idea what it went on, you know? And money comes and money goes. So I think for me, because I've been broke for so long, if I ever got any like serious dough coming in, yeah, I would be like, right, I'm going to buy a flat in the south of France or something, you know? I wouldn't blow it on like cocaine or anything.
No. Drugs are bad, people. Let's not. Stay in school or don't, but...
Well, I don't even drink anymore, you know? I haven't drank alcohol in 2 years, so...
I don't really either. You know, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't like drinking when my kids are home. Because especially, you know, they need 24-hour care. So it's like, can't just be like, sorry, kids, you know, I'm off my face. Sort yourselves out, you know.
Give me a drink.
Yeah, but, you know, I was just, I was looking at the back of your book when you said, being a winner's easy, it's being a failure that's hard. And I couldn't agree more because, you know, if you win all the time, then your life's easy.
Yeah.
But then when you come across tough times and stuff like that, and you learn from those things, and you can, you know, move forward, you know, and take it from there.
Well, it's easy to be a winner, and it's easy to support the winner as well. But, you know, when you're a struggling musician, well, if you're a musician that is anyone that's not in the 1% of successful bands like Bring Me the Horizon, they've got a major label deal and they've got tons of cash behind them, then, you know, opportunities they're many, aren't they? But that's only like the case for such a small amount of people in any like walk of life, you know? So for the rest of us, like the 99% of the rest of us that don't fall into that kind of lucky groove, you've got to kind of be able to live with uncertainty and failure and disappointment and hardship, because you're going to get a lot of that. And you can either give up and not do what you want to do, what's in your heart, because it's, you know, because you've been let down, or you can push through it somehow and make it happen somehow. You know, it's like, I'm not in that 1% of millionaire multi-platinum rock bands, but at the same time, I haven't had a day job in like 10 years. I live in a nice house. I make all my money through doing my own music. So I've kind of got a career of some form, where lots of my friends kind of gave up years ago because it's really tough, you know. But I've learned more like from my failures and through persevering and trying to figure out a way to keep going where I want to go. I've learned more from doing that than I would have done if I just gave up and spent the rest of my life being upset about it, you know?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I guess, you know, it's something that like my daughter, she doesn't like, you know, like winning or losing games, right? In a way, it is one of those autistic traits as well. A lot of autistic people can be like that because it's the feeling of failure. You know, it's not nice. You know, especially for a young child that can't really control their emotions. It can be very difficult.
Yeah.
But I always say to her, like, you know, when you're born, yeah, you can't do anything for yourself. And then you start babbling, and then you say little words, and then form sentences, so on and so forth. And then, you know, you start crawling, and then you walk and fall, and it's all part of growing up,
yeah.
But also it's part of life, because you aren't born with the ability to walk straight away. So you have to fall a lot and hurt yourself a lot to be able to walk. And it is in a way is a good analogy. You know what I mean? For life, that's what happens. You will learn how to walk properly, but you will stumble and fall many times.
Totally. And if you've got somebody in your life that is so like worried that you're going to hurt yourself, that they won't let you walk by yourself, they keep catching you, they're not helping you. You know, you might feel better in the moment that they're stopping you from hurting yourself, but in the long run, you're not learning anything. You know, you need to get out there and fall over it, you know, in order to, and hurt yourself in order to learn, you know, and that never stops, you know. And I think for me, like the band, because I was so passionate about the band and wanting to achieve my dream and everything, that just kept me going. I think if you're not really passionate about something, I think you probably will give up before long. As soon as it gets hard, you think, fuck this, you know. But because I was so passionate about keeping going, I had a destination I was aiming for. That made me put up with all sorts of shit, you know, and it can be good.
Absolutely. And I guess like big bands like, again, you know, Bring Me the Horizon, you know, they started in like little pubs and clubs, you know, and like there's a little nightclub in Leeds called The Cockpit, which a lot of people, you know, a lot of big bands have played back in the day. Well, big bands that are big bands now, they weren't then, you know what I mean? And they played in places like that, which no longer exists, but they started there. Bring Me the Horizon, Enter Shikari, While She Sleeps, all these great bands from Yorkshire. They started in places like that. And they didn't start, you know, by selling arenas. They started by playing places that would give them, you know, they wouldn't even get paid, man. It's like they would just be like given the privilege of, you know, borrowing a little space of a stage to showcase their talent. That's how it all started for many people. So I guess what would your advice be for someone that might be listening and they're a bit like, oh, I'm really struggling to carry on doing this even though it's my passion?
I think for people that are going to do it anyway, the people like me that are going to learn guitar even if they don't have a teacher, or they're going to keep gigging and pushing their band even though they keep getting ripped off by everybody and they're making no money and it's really depressing and ruining your life. Those people are going to keep going anyway because they're crazy like me. I think for other people that don't feel it that passionately, I think they're more likely to give up. And I think when it comes to music, I think it can get really, really tough. So I think if you're not really 100% in it, then I think it would probably be better to just keep it as something you do for fun, you know, with your friends, because as soon as you start taking it too seriously, that's when the fun goes out of it. If you don't want it to take over your life, then just keep it as a fun thing that you do with your friends and don't take it too seriously. But I think if you're like me and you really want to you make it your life, you know, then you're going to have to strap in because it's going to be a really tough walk.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it is, but it's so rewarding, isn't it? You know, it is very rewarding. You're not going to, at the moment, well, I'm not going to say you're not going to be swimming in money, but then it depends, you know. Depends if you make it to the top.
Well, you know, there's lots of ways to make loads of dough.
Yes, there is. Some that we wouldn't advise. In politics and...
Yeah, exactly. You know, just hang out with politicians, become friends with Nigel Farage.
Oh, God, no. Even if they paid me. God, no. No. Do you know what? You know why I asked you earlier who we're going to, you know, put in a cell for 24 hours, right?
Farage.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And I would make him listen to YMCA on repeat.
That is cold.
YMCA on repeat.
That is harsh.
Very.
You bitch, that's cold.
But that's the way it is, man. That's the way it is. Or I was thinking something like, are you familiar with the band The Who, as in HU?
Yeah.
Mongolian Throat Singers?
Yes, I am. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that, constantly.
Just on Farage. I feel like that would be unfair for them, you know, to be subjected to Farage for that long.
No, I guess so.
Music's too good for Farage. Any kind of music is too good for Farage.
Or just silence.
Yeah, just
white noise.
Lock him in silence with nothing but himself and his own thoughts for 24 hours. That'd be enough to drive anybody crazy, surely.
I guess so. On that note, James, before we torture anyone else, thank you so much for joining me.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Of course. It's been a lot of fun. I guess we could just be talking for ages.
Could do, yeah, easy.
Easy. But honestly, I think everyone should